Everybody's gonna get their own close up. Y'all can look at the camera. Everybody look at the camera. Perfect. Perfect. Y'all can just nod. It's on you. You can do whatever you want. Here we go. Okay, okay. We're coming this way. Coming this way. Everybody just wave. And then on 3, you're gonna go ahead and start your walk. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Oh my God, I can't.
Everybody turn up.
Oh yeah. Looking good. You fucking hold hands, just gaze in each other's eyes.
Welcome back to my channel, guys. It's Ruthie here, and I'm back with another video. Guys, this is the last episode of the Dose of Love series. So if you've been keeping up and enjoying, please be sure to give the video a thumbs up. Every video you watch, thumbs up, so that it can reach a wider audience. I don't know how I feel. Am I sad? Am I sad? I don't know. I think this has been 7 episodes. It's been 2 months since the wedding, so it's time to close the chapter on this content. This is a fun one to be closing the chapter on, though. So if you're interested in hearing about my Asoebi ladies process, picking the girls I wanted with me, finding the fabric, tailor, all the way here in the US, using somebody in Nigeria, then keep on watching the video. Also, I was just giving an update regarding hair and makeup, and I decided why not give an update on Asoebi stuff, because again, a real-time update. Hi guys. So where are we? I have 27 Asoebi girls, which sounds like a lot to me, but you know, these are people that I wanted to include on my special day for my traditional wedding. So it's difficult coordinating all that. You really have to keep things as standardized as possible, and you have to like communicate very well to everyone to help you help yourself. Like, please help me help myself. Like, you might ask for certain things a certain way from the girls, and they'll send it back how they interpret what you requested for. But it's like, no, I want it this way because it's going to help move things along smoothly. An example, the way I requested for measurements, I numbered them. I had specific measurements based on the tailor's request. And so I asked for it from each girl the exact same way. Like, I need these measurements numbered. Here's a picture of what each measurement is. Here's a description of what each measurement is. This is bust. This is over bust. This is under bust. This is waist. This is hip. I'd say, God beg you, just do it the way I asked, because again, I'm trying to coordinate something for 27 people. But fortunately, like, my friends, they're understanding, and they've tried their best to comply. I don't want to say comply. And they've tried their best to, you know, once I let them know what it is exactly I need, they do provide that. But I can see, because it makes me nervous. It really does, because I can see how things can get communicated a certain way and people can get offended and tensions can rise, especially if attitudes are not correct. But again, oh Baba God, I'm so grateful. My friends are understanding. Communication has been smooth, and I haven't had much issues by the grace of God. Let's rewind. How did I end up starting with 27 girls for my Asoebi? I just found myself feeling like I didn't want to leave anybody out of the experience, especially people that were significant in certain stages of my life. Ladies, like friends that, even though we may not speak that much now, at one point in my life, you played a huge role in, you know, my friendships and my day-to-day life. Anyway, so it ranged from my sister, cousins, like actual blood cousins, friends, current day friends, new adult friendships that have began in the past 2 to 3 to 4 years. My childhood friends, my high school friends, my college friends, even though like I don't talk to them that much anymore, but in college we were like this and we like this forever, okay? Like if I pick up the phone to talk, we gonna still be like this. It's just life. Life has happened. After, going through all those different stages, I just was like, dang, that's 27 people. How am I gonna coordinate Asoebi dresses for 27 people? Well, I'll tell you how. I've secured a tailor for my Asoebi girls. This tailor also recommended or works closely with a fabric sourcer. It sounds like I'm calling her something else. Somebody that helps order fabric and has access to fabric. Anyway, so the fabric I'm using, I'll post it on the screen. I told her that my traditional wear is going to be green and purple. So I would like a lilac for the girls and maybe like a deep plum for the guys. I'm still trying to decide what the guys are going to do. I almost want to just make it easier on myself and just say whites for the guys. It'll be easier. Because I don't want it to be too much color in your face type of thing. So I'm thinking white for the guys. Anyway, I told her I wanted lilac. She gave me different options that I'll show on the screen. And then the one that I ended up choosing was this one. This fabric cost 49,000 naira for 3 yards. Fast forward, she gets me the 3 yards. I have her deliver it to the tailor. And by the way, she low-key tried to get more money out of me, and I had to stand my ground and not be bamboozled, which is another thing you have to keep in mind when you are working from the States with people back home. Make sure you have an advocate for yourself. For me, that's my sister-in-law. I told her what was happening, and she was like, tell the lady this. I told the lady that. I don't want to get into too much detail because customer service was great. It was great. So I don't want to bash her. And I know things are hard in Nigeria. Everybody has a hustle and they're just really trying to survive. So I do not want to talk down on this business. But as somebody working from the States with people back home, you just have to have an advocate that is in the country that will make sure things are being done correctly and that you're not being played. So anyway, she got the fabric for me. The tailor, it got delivered to the tailor, and the tailor's like, oh, 3 yards is not going to be enough. For some of these designs, you need 4 yards. So people that have long dresses, mermaid style dresses, all this, draping, etc., they need 4 yards. And then, in the back of my mind, I'm like, is she trying to play me again? I just don't want wahala. I want everybody's dresses to come out nice. So I personally paid for the additional yards of fabric. I had to order like 11 additional yards for some of the girls who had long dresses. I don't know. I just feel bad making people pay for something that I asked them to do. So I offered to pay 50% of the cost of the fabric, and everybody else paid the rest of the 50%. And then based on the designs, each dress costs different amounts. So based on the design, some dresses had a lower end of the spectrum of like $59 for a dress, which is amazing for the quality that I'm expecting. I haven't seen the final product yet, but based on this tailor's page, it looks very good quality. On the higher end of the spectrum, one of my cousins, her dress is like $128. So overall, that spectrum is very good. For a tailor I wanted to use here in Dallas, and I love her, she's great, but she was just out of the budget, girl. She was saying her starting price was $200 for dresses for my Asoebi girls. So I was like, nah, I need to find another option. Every tailor is different, and that's something you have to keep in mind. The type of measurements they may request, what kind of images they may want from you, whether they want to do a video consultation or not. Every tailor is different. So I already decided I wanted to go with Ibilola Ogundipe. Okay, how I found out from her was from Lydia Denga's wedding series. The same way she passed it forward to me, I'm passing it forward to you. Okay, she had really beautiful dresses made. She raved about Ibilola, how professional the whole process seemed. Like it was good, it was seamless. So I reached out to Ibilola to know her prices and know how she would be able to help me as a US based babe. And she linked me up with someone that could supply fabric. And she let me know all the measurements in detail with pictures, descriptions that she would need from the girls. And that was it. So right now where I am is I am waiting for deposits for the dresses. Now that I've collected all the measurements, all the designs, the tailor has quoted me on each dress, so I've communicated that to the girls. So now I'm collecting the deposits so the tailor can start on the dresses. And so my goal is by next week, the last week of October, to have all that payment so that the tailor can start, because I need her to be done by February, because I have an uncle that'll be in Nigeria then who will collect the dresses and bring them to the States for me. So I have notes right here, and I want to share with you what my timeline looked like. By the end of September, the fabric that we chose was with our tailor. I sent all measurements and styles to the Asoebi girls by October 9th. And then I didn't get the first few like finished looks till December 18th. I didn't get confirmation of all the dresses being done till February 15th. Again, I think there's a running theme of delivery dates and completion dates with tailors, but this is nothing new. This is nothing new to anybody. All dresses were done, and I had to get back to her saying 4 dresses needed edits. The dresses weren't fully finished and shipped till March 8th. Remember, I told everybody that my wedding was in March, and I didn't get all my dresses till March 8th. I have heard horror stories of people actually not getting their dresses till the day of the wedding or even after. So guys, when I say please hear me well, do not give anybody your actual date. Give 3 months wiggle room, and that's not an exaggeration. We have a delivery. This is our Asoebi dresses. Look how nicely wrapped and professionally done this is. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Over here trying to sort the outfits. For the day of your traditional wedding, there's certain responsibilities that you would want your Asoebi girls to have. Number one, they need to understand the logistics for the day. They need to know where they need to be to get, if there's any setup or anything regarding the actual ceremony they need to do. They need to know what time frame that is. They need to know when they should start getting ready, like hard stops, okay? This is not African time, hard stops. They need to know when they should be getting ready, makeup and hair. They need to know when they need to be getting their gele tied. They need to know when they need to show up for photos. And then they need to know when to be ready for the ceremony to begin. And so I created a timeline that I'll post on the video somewhere here, of a timeline for everybody. So a lot of this communication, right? Imagine 27 girls. It actually ended up being 24 girls, but so let's say 24, right? 24 girls, communication, they would have questions. Everybody, some people are coming in from out of town. You know, logistics were just a little all over the place because of where the main hotel for wedding guests were, the location for the trad, my location. There were just a lot of moving pieces. Some people stayed in Airbnbs. Some people didn't have cars. Some people had cars. There's a lot of moving pieces. So communication, guys, I can't stress this enough, is key. What you want to do to help you help yourself is, if you have a maid of honor, have her be in charge of communications and let her be the middleman. I never intended for that, but that was something that my sister, who was my maid of honor, matron, my matron of honor suggested. And oh my gosh, like, I just can't imagine how much more stressful it would have been if that wasn't the case. So after I introduced everybody to each other, created the group chat, informed everyone of when their outfits were coming, gave everyone dates, my sister was like, all right, Ruth, thanks. We're removing you from the group chat. Peace out. And from that moment on, she took care of any communication that needed to be relay to the girls. If they had questions, she tried her best to answer it herself based on what she knew, because she was very close with me in the whole planning process. But if there was anything that she didn't know, then she would come to me. It just significantly decreases the amount of back and forth, having to text, being on WhatsApp, calling this person, texting this person doesn't like this person doesn't want this. Like, it eliminates all that from you, and it honestly like takes off quite a load of stress. So I'm very grateful for that. If you have the opportunity to have a maid of honor or just a few of your Asoebi girls be in charge of communication to the whole group and remove yourself from that situation, I would highly recommend that. I'm trying to figure out, I feel like, so this Gele with the lighting, hold on. Yeah. With the lighting, from a distance, it could look cute. Because at first I was like, when you get real close, it just looks like, what the freak? But from a distance, it's like a deep purple. Just don't allow them to be close to everybody. Deep purple with like glitter, and it shimmers, and it has gold, and it has green. And it's like, ooh. So versus 5 feet between them and everyone. So then this one, you see, it's like purple, and it has green in it. But like, it's reflective, and like it's gonna be like. Yeah. So I think you need actual 2 Gele. You can't tell based on this here. Like, it's a mountain. That's what you're supposed to use your imagination for. Oh, sorry. That's why I said I recuse myself. I think I do this one. Do you know our Asoebi, like a Yoruba trad? Okay. This is basically the material. It's a green and purple. Okay. So that's, even though I do like this for its simplicity by hair, wow, it's too similar to ours. It's gonna be like they're copying us. Okay, well. You know? So would you agree that you like this better? You're trying to force me to like it. But there are actually other pieces of the Asoebi group that needs to be considered, like the Geles, okay? The Gele that we used was by Nuga Designs, a man named Dr. Adenuga, who his mother used to own this business. He took it over once she passed, which I think is kind of a sweet story. He made our Geles, he made them handmade. And the process was I would send him the fabric that my girls had for their dresses. He would take that and create multiple samples of potential Asoebis. So he came up with 2 different samples that he sent to me here in the States. He was based in Lagos, but he was able, I don't know how he mailed the samples, because he mailed them to my mom, and then my mom gave them to me when she came to visit in Dallas. So as you can see, it's kind of difficult using just the samples to determine what would work best, because you want it to match your girls' dresses, but you also want it to complement what you would have on. The whole look has to tie together. So again, I was over here trying to create pictograms and drafts and this and that to just see the full look. Another accessory or another part of the Asoebi look that is also kind of important is the fans, right? Especially during the choreography, which I'll talk about in a second. You want the fans to be functional, so like to keep people cool while they're dancing, but you also want it to be like a prop for your entrance, right? So there was a moment in time where I didn't want to get fans, because imagine 24 times 30, okay? That's over $800 just for fans. I wasn't going to try to put that on my Asoebi girls. I didn't want to add another cost to them, and I don't want to pay $800. And that's from searching on Etsy. So again, patronizing Nigerian vendors. You guys are really getting like so many different versions of Rude. Oh my gosh. I just feel like I need to capture certain moments. Otherwise, I'm going to forget some of the details of things that are happening during this time. So we're down to 4 months to the wedding, guys. And something I was just thinking about right now is how planning a wedding really, really calls you to call on your community. Like, it's not a one-person job. It's not. And it's not a one family job. Shugets. So like, the reason I started to think about this was one of my Asoebi girls, she called me and we were talking about wedding stuff. And she was like, seriously, let me know what the plans are, if there's some planning committee that I need to be involved with. She was like, I'm going to be in Nigeria at so-and-so date. So if there's anything you need me to bring back to the States for you, just let me know. And I was like, oh my gosh, that actually, I actually need that. And then I was complaining to EJ, one of my bridesmaids. I was like, man, these hand fans are expensive. On Etsy, they're like $30 to $60 a piece. Imagine getting that for 20-something girls. That is, let me do some quick maths. 60 times 20. That's $1,200. That's a lot of money, okay? And again, like, I feel like since the Asoebi girls have paid for their fabric, they've paid for their dresses, I don't want to create more expenses for them. Like, you know, that's a low-key controversial topic on TikTok about who pays for what. But anyway, for like the hand fans, like, how am I gonna, I can't force you to get a fan. If you don't want a fan, you ain't gotta get a fan. But it's a nice look to have a fan, right? So ideally, I want a fan. And I was starting to consider not doing fans because I was like, that's too expensive. I don't have an additional $1,000 sitting somewhere for some fans that by the time the night is over is gonna end up in the dustbin. So EJ was like, you should talk to my mom. She might have a hookup in Nigeria. And I was like, you know what? Let me do that. So I called her mom. I texted her mom, and then we ended up talking on the phone. And I grew up with EJ, so we're like childhood friends. Auntie Ada, she's like a very close aunt to me. She's like family at this point. So I called her, I talked to her, and she was like, oh yeah, I know I have a cousin in Enugu that this, that. We can figure out shipping. We can look at this, look at that. Guys, it's been 3 days since I inquired about this fan. She talked to her cousin. They found fans for $7. Okay? Fans for $7 in Nigeria that look good and actually decent quality. They're going to ship it to Lagos when my friend is there. And my friend is going to bring it back to the States when she returns before the wedding. Guys, community is important. And I feel like in our generation, that's not something that we cultivate as well as our parents. Like the way my mom is still friends with people from high school, from nursing school, from this, from that, from decades ago, right? I don't think our generation values that as much. And my mom has been someone that I've always known that she's always like, how's this your friend? How's that your friend? When last did you talk to this person? Da, 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 da. And I used to think that a lot of people were like that. But the older I've gotten, I've realized that that's actually not the case. So yeah, community is important. We have to value our community, especially in today's day and age where the world is losing its freaking mind. If you have the capacity to pour into your friends and pour into your community and cultivate like just being connected with one another, whatever capacity you have to do that, do it, because it will be such a big blessing, not just for you, for those that are part of the community as well in the long run. So that's just kind of what's on my mind right now. 4 months, guys, 4 months. This is actually turning out to be a beautiful experience. Although there are parts that are stressful, just witnessing certain things. And then even this little thing, right? I feel like it's an answered prayer as well. Because one of our prayers is, God, we're going to be diligent with our money and save it for this and have zero debt at the end of this. But please, Jehovah Jireh, be our provider in ways that we cannot even anticipate. And my aunt just offering to cover the fans is just like helping me find someone to provide them and offering to, it's like, wow, God, you're really coming through for your girl. And also shout out to Auntie, you really came through for your girl. Shout out to my friend that's going to be in Lagos. You're really coming through for your girl. And shout out to everybody. Shout out to EJ. Shout out to my sister. I've had moments. And she has been the voice of reason. She's an experienced bride, so she's able to like let me know, like, Ruth, how you're feeling. The stress or whatever you're concerned about is totally normal. This is how we're gonna rectify the situation. So shout out to my sister. Just shout out to my friends, man. Shout out to my friend Tola, like offering, if buying the fans wasn't gonna work, she was gonna DIY them because she's a DIY queen. So she offered, and yeah, just shout out to my community. I appreciate you guys. And that's how we ended up having the fans for our entrance, as well as, you know, just to complement the look. Now, the logistics for the Geles was that Dr. Adenuga had like he has a home in Maryland. So he was able to ship from Lagos to Maryland. I have a friend that lives in Maryland. You guys have seen the previous episodes. I went to visit her at one point. So she just brought the Geles to Cleveland for the wedding. So again, just utilizing your resources. That's what you gotta have to do. Utilize your resources. Now the dance. Asoebi ladies. Asoebi ladies. Ooh, actually, the dance was a very fun part for me because there was a point in time where like I imagined the mix of songs I wanted, and I would be at work, I would be at home, I'd be driving, and I would just be like creating choreography in my head, like just the concept for the dance. It was something that I was really looking forward to. But I also had a friend who I was able to assign that task to. And so she helped choreograph the dance. We met up when she came to visit in Dallas at one point, practiced the dance, recorded the dance, and then send it to the group chat so that everybody can have the chance to practice before the big day. And even on the big day, while you know, in Yoruba traditional weddings, the bride is just waiting to be called in. And during that period, we practice and practice and practice so everybody could feel comfortable and it would look good. Okay. The last piece for the Asoebi, I don't know, is it Asoebi for guys as well? Or is Asoebi just for girls? For me, it was just really safe and much easier to have the guys in white and then get them a cap that would have a bold color. Because my wedding was in the summer, so I did want to play with color as much as I could. I didn't want to do the thing I usually do, which is do neutrals, simple colors, right? I really wanted to play with color and use bold colors because that's what Nigerians know how to do, okay? So with the outfits, I played it safe because at that point I was just like, I don't know how to make everybody look cohesive and add another color or find a matching fabric for the guys. So I had them dress in white and then I had them have a purple cap. With the Asoebi outfits, those were made in Ilorin. I have a cousin who was able to set us up with a tailor in Ilorin, and he made the outfits like with speed and then made the caps for the guys and then sent them. I would like to point out in the past videos, I did speak highly of Boleb Logistics, but I recently used them again. And towards the end of wedding planning, I used them a second time. And I don't know, it almost felt like I was love bombed because the first time went so smoothly. It was sweet. It was awesome. Like 10 days, 10 business days, my outfits were in Houston. Like I was very shocked. Everything was smooth. Everything was packaged wonderfully. Communication was good. But the subsequent 2 times that I used them, it took 3 weeks or more to get the clothes here, and they wouldn't pick up when you call them. So it's like you don't know, you don't have tracking information either. So there's no tracking number to say it's here, it's left Lagos, it's here, it's there. And if you try to message them, they'll tell you, we will let you know when your thing is ready. So you're just sitting there wondering if your thing has made it. If you have food items, that's a big concern because you don't want it sitting in storage too long. So honestly, I'll have to say, if you're going to use Boleb Logistics, it's going to get your goods to you. So far, it's got my goods to me, but it might not be as quickly as you expect, and the communication is not the greatest. So unfortunately, I have to rescind everything I've said about Boleb Logistics because I don't want to make the recommendation and you guys get a poor experience compared to that first experience that I had shared with you guys. So yeah, we use Boleb Logistics for the guys' clothes. It took forever to get here. We actually started to get concerned, but at the end of the day, they got here. The guys looked sharp. They looked really sharp. I love the white against the green and the purple, and the Asoebi girls' outfits. The whole look just really came together well. And this is another piece of wedding planning that I think, unless you're a very good curator, you need a lot of help because the dress has to match the gilly, has to match the fan, has to match the jewelry, has to match the shoes, has to match the guys, has to match their cap, has to match your dress, has to match your gilly. It's a lot to try to put together. And especially as a Nigerian who we love bold colors, we like to be loud with like our clothing. You also don't want it to look tacky. So that was a challenge I found with that whole planning process. I even would go on Canva and play with your color wheel to know, ooh, what color is complementary to what. Like, it really got that deep for me. Both my husband and I were just very excited with the people that we had with us on the day of. It was very sweet for me because, like I said, people that I haven't seen or talked to in years, like one of my college friends, I was like, I haven't seen you since 2019. Girl, this is crazy. We need to work on that. But it was just really sweet to see them there with me, see them interacting with each other. It's one thing to like have your friend with you, it's another thing to have your friend interacting with your other friends, and to just see how they all were just excited to be there to support me. It meant a lot. So if you're watching this and you're one of my Asoebi girls, know that I will never forget how you really showed up for me on my wedding day, and I love you guys. So anyway, guys, that brings me to the end of the series. This is literally the last episode. I hope you guys enjoyed the series. I had fun creating it, and I look forward to our 1 year anniversary, 2, 5, 10 year anniversary, being able to look back on these videos and just remember such a time in my life. I know that these sort of things become obsolete over time because the wedding industry keeps rapidly changing. But again, I do hope that it is hopeful to some extent to somebody out there. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in my upcoming videos. We're going to be back to regular scheduled programming, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Deuces.